Wow, that's a lot. That's still too hot. Hello Power Rangers fans, and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today is Christmas, and so I decided to do a little kind of Christmas video, a Power Rangers Christmas video here on the channel. So I don't do Christmas videos every single year, but last year I did do a pretty fun one where I did kind of a tier list looking at all of the Tokusatsu Christmas themed gimmicks. And I figured this year, instead of talking about some Tokusatsu toys, I'm going to talk about a Tokusatsu episode, or a Power Rangers episode. So Power Rangers is no stranger to making Christmas themed episodes. We had them all the way back in the era of Mighty Morphin. We even had specials like Alpha's Magical Christmas, but Christmas episodes really became a mainstay for Power Rangers with the Neo Saban era. Pretty much every single season in Neo Saban had a Christmas themed episode of some sort, starting with Samurai, Super Samurai, and of course Megaforce. And today I want to talk about one of my favorite Christmas episodes, probably my all-time favorite Christmas episode from Power Rangers, the Robo Knight Before Christmas. Not only is that a fantastic pun featuring one of my favorite characters in the whole franchise, and definitely my favorite from Megaforce, Robo Knight, but this of course is the obligatory Christmas themed clip show episode that they had during pretty much all the Neo Saban seasons. Now this one actually, kind of like the Samurai ones, was sort of a big deal when it came to like media releases. It got its own dedicated DVD at the end of Megaforce, which actually included a couple of previous Power Rangers season episodes such as Wild Force and Jungle Fury, which was kind of neat. It was the final episode of Power Rangers Megaforce to air in 2013, which is one of those things where the holiday specials always were kind of strange because the episode that aired like right before this was the ending of, and there's like big battle and everything, and Robo Knight's missing, and you know the Armada's attacking, but now it's Christmas and everything's fine. So today I'm going to go ahead and watch the Robo Knight Before Christmas. It's been a while since I've seen this episode here, but also coincidentally enough, it worked out pretty well that my Power Rangers rewatch that I started in 2019, which has been taking me far too long than I was ever intending. I am finally finishing Megaforce here with the Halloween and Christmas specials, and today I'm finally going to be finishing Megaforce and can move on to Super Megaforce with the Robo Knight Before Christmas. So it's been nearly 10 years since I've seen this episode. I've only ever seen it, I think, one time, even though I have already claimed that this is my favorite Christmas episode of Power Rangers. And it is, if not just for this picture alone. I love this thing. And absolutely just love the character of Robo Knight here, so I'm going to watch this episode, and we're going to talk about the Robo Knight Before Christmas. So go ahead and grab your hot chocolate here, which I don't have a Power Rangers themed mug. I have a Ninja Turtles themed mug. I figured that was close enough. They are Power Rangers, none, you know, regardless anyway. Let's see, is this still too hot? Yeah, a little bit. The general premise of this episode is Robo Knight learning about the meaning of Christmas, and I really like how this episode starts. Now, of course, being a clip show episode, it doesn't make it probably the greatest Power Rangers Christmas episode of all time. There's definitely more original footage episodes out there that have a Christmas theme to them. But honestly, for being a clip show, the clips don't even start happening until like the 9-minute mark out of the 23-minute episode. So you have like a really fun like first like 10-ish minutes of this episode that I really like. It's like just a lot of fun stuff going on here. You have Robo Knight standing on this building and he sees people cutting down trees and putting up electrical lights and everything. And of course the first thing he thinks of is, that's all bad for the environment, what are humans doing? And he just is standing outside of like the mall area that the Rangers usually hang out at, and this is one of the most uses that they get out of this set throughout the entirety of Megaforce, I feel, because you have the Rangers sitting there. Ernie has some goofy antics with a peppermint shake thing, but then Noah finds Robo Knight kind of just standing there, and they decide that he wants to kind of learn about Christmas, so if he can stand still for 24 hours straight and kind of just observe the mall as people are around buying presents and everything like that, then he might be able to kind of figure out what he's looking for. So Robo Knight just stands there and lets gifts pile up all around him until eventually he is picked up with all of the other gifts, because it hasn't been 24 hours of him standing still yet like Noah told him to do, and he gets shipped with all the gifts to Africa, which is where the actual clip portion of this episode takes place. So once we get to this point in the episode, it's just the clip show. It's like we have the premise set up and everything. Robo Knight shipped to Africa to give less privileged kids Christmas gifts. He sits around a fire as he tells them stories of his time being a Power Ranger and the friends that he's met and everything, and he doesn't really necessarily like learn a meaning of Christmas from that, other than just kind of like friendship and togetherness kind of thing. But honestly, what I kind of really like about the clips here is that while the Halloween episode definitely focuses on a lot more for its clip show of the actual battles that the Rangers have throughout Megaforce, this episode really focuses a lot more on the characters of Megaforce, and honestly sort of brings out sort of the characterization that sort of gets lost within the massive amounts of Sentai footage and messy plots that Megaforce is known for, and kind of boils it down to some of its greatest hits, which is what a clip show is supposed to do, of course, but it really does make Megaforce look a little bit better than the season probably actually was, and for that, I kind of have to give this episode credit. I think it's really cool the moments that they pick, seeing the Rangers hanging out together, feeling like actual characters with actual motivations and like friendship bonds and everything, and it's nice to see. And of course the back half of this episode does feature some clips of actual Ranger battles. It shows basically kind of a very shortened version of Robo Knight's entire character arc throughout Megaforce, which honestly, if you're just a big fan of Robo Knight like I am, because I love that character, I really do, with all of its really funny moments from the rap episode, or like when he just kind of walks up and asks about tears, or when he's just playing chess with Noah when everybody's kind of sandboarding in the background. I love that kind of stuff, getting to see it all, even though it is all from just a bunch of different episodes, and that's not really something fair to judge this episode on specifically, because those are from other episodes, but it's just fun to see them all together here as Robo Knight is sort of narrating his story and telling all these kids around this fire what he is and what he's up to and what he does. And that's basically it. That's basically all there is to this episode. He makes some soup, and then at the end of the episode, the soup is ready, but he's like made all the kids fall asleep from just talking about himself. So he powers up this tree, he turns into his Lion Zord, and he flies away. But then what's really nice is you get this really cool scene at the end of the episode where he goes back to that rooftop that he just likes to sort of brood on, and there's a really cute gift from the Rangers of a snow globe with the 6 of them together. And for this being sort of one of the last main times you see Robo Knight in Power Rangers, because after this episode, he only appears in 3 episodes of Super Megaforce, the Rack is Back 2-parter, and of course the Legendary Battle finale episode, so he really doesn't have too much focus. I mean, he's a pretty big part of that Rack is Back 2-part, with the evil Robo Knight and everything like that, but for this sort of being a kind of send-off to the character, I really like that it gets to focus on him. He makes sense to be in this kind of role of not knowing about Christmas, and it's definitely that kind of fun thing. You know, it's just the typical Robo Knight plot that we usually get of he doesn't know about this, or he doesn't know about that, or he doesn't know how these emotions work, or why humans do this thing. But for something like this, for a Christmas episode, it's a really good framing device. It makes logical sense why the clips are here for that, and I think that there's really nothing wrong with this. I really like this episode a lot. It's definitely one of my favorite clip episodes we've had from Power Rangers, and that Christmas theme just adds a lot of fun stuff. The cast looks like they had a great blast together, you know, giving each other gifts and just having some fun. They basically just had to film like a scene, so it was probably a very easy thing for them to do there. I just kind of filmed that first like 8 minutes of the episode there, and I like it. Like I said, I think it is personally my favorite episode of Power Rangers that is Christmas themed. Now, Super Megaforce doesn't have a Christmas episode. I'm very curious what they would have done with that, especially because they could have used, kind of, the Gokai Christmas footage from Gokaiger, even though it has Battle Fever J in it, but that didn't stop them for the rest of Megaforce. But I think that the Robo Knight Before Christmas is definitely a bright spot in the very messy 2 seasons that are Super Megaforce and Megaforce, and for that, I'm very happy that they were able to take my favorite character from Megaforce and give him a pretty cool episode of his own. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the Power Rangers Megaforce episode of the Robo Knight Before Christmas, and what is your personal favorite Christmas-themed episode of Power Rangers? I'd love to know down in the comments below, and of course until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LightningFigPR, and I'll see you all later. Merry Christmas.